Okay, now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the ID3 tags. The ID3 tags is information about the song that's embedded into the song file. And when you add songs to your library, then it analyzes the ID3 tag to get out information like the artist, the album, the title, the genre. And sometimes it's correct, sometimes it isn't, sometimes it doesn't have an ID3 tag. So we can edit this stuff. Let's go ahead and open up this one. We see it's missing a title. Bring up the details by double clicking on the file. If you can click view ID3 tag, and this will bring up the original ID3 tag that was extracted from the file, and there's basically nothing. There was an ID3 tag, but it doesn't have any information in it. The information that's stored about the song in the library is separate from the ID3 tag. So if we change the title or the artist or the album, we're not actually changing the ID3 tag. We're just changing it in the library. So let's go ahead and give this song a title. We can see the name right here in the file is E42, and we can type that in. Or another method is to click guess, and it's going to take a guess based on the file name. We can also perform guesses on the artist and the album, but we'll talk more about guessing later. The only other thing I'd like to say about ID3 tags is that in the MP3 player mode, when you copy songs to your MP3 player, SongMixer will write an ID3 tag to those, which will include a track number, unless you've disabled that in settings. And it will also embed the ID number of the song into the ID3 tag so that it will be remembered. Okay, in the last part we talked about guesses a little bit, and let's say that this song didn't have an artist or an album. So we're going to perform guesses for all of it. We click guess, guess the artist, click guess the album. That's pretty good. If it doesn't work, you can change the guess mode here under settings to be based on file name structure. Let me explain what that is. I'm going to go into settings, click on guesses, and here's an example of the folder structure guesses where the song title is in the file name, the album name is in the directory or the folder, whatever you want to call it, that the song is in, and the artist is the parent directory to that. So this would be a folder called Pink Floyd, and in there is another folder called The Division Bell, and in there is a song called 01 cluster1.mp3. So that's how it can guess the artist, the album, and the title. But if you don't have your music arranged that way, if you have all your music in one folder, and you have the artist, the album, and the title all in one name, all in the file name, you'd want to use the second guess mode, which is based on file name structure. And it's going to look for these dashes, the separators between them. So that, in my case, I'm going to pick the first guess mode because it works with the way my music is organized. And we can go through and click guess on all of these songs, but that's a little tedious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check all of these songs that need to have the titles filled in, and go ahead and place a check there, hold down shift and check here, and everything in between will be checked. Now if I click library and tools, I can perform a song title guess on all of the songs that are checked, and it gives me the option of only doing the ones that don't currently have titles, because if I say yes, it's going to perform a guess on these, which would probably work fine, but well, actually no, it wouldn't because they're not checked. But if they were checked, so it doesn't really matter what I say here. I'm just going to say no and let it only pick the ones that are blank and have no title. And there we go. Be sure to uncheck this before continuing, otherwise you might mess things up later. You could check all of the songs and perform these guesses, and that might work good, that might work bad. It's better than having no information at all, right? Actually, I believe in the newer version, when songs are being imported, if the artist and album or title is not in the ID3 tag, or there is no ID3 tag, then rather than it being blank, it will automatically perform a guess. So you probably won't have any that are blank. You may have a few that just say like triple question mark, and basically that means it wasn't able to make a guess, and then that's considered blank, and you can use this tool on that and it'll consider 3 question marks as being blank. Okay, so we're halfway through refining our library and making it accurate. There's another tool that cuts down the tedium a bit. Let's say we want to change the genre of 10,000 Maniacs. We didn't want to call it soft rock, even though I would call it soft rock. Let's bring up the details of one of the 10,000 Maniacs songs and select a genre from the list. And let's just call it, I don't know, in this case we'll just call it rock. Double click. Or we could also just type rock in there if we want. And now I want to talk about these buttons over here. What these do is they copy this information to other songs. And like this button will copy the genre rock to all other songs by 10,000 Maniacs. Obviously you'll want to make sure that you've refined the artist name on all the 10,000 Maniacs songs first. Or you can copy this to all songs that are in this album, which is MTV Unplugged. Or to all the songs that are in this folder, which could be good, but if you have different kinds of music in this one folder, then definitely do not do that. Or copy the genre to all the songs that are checkmarked from the list. We don't have any checkmarks, so we can't use that. So I'm going to say everything from this artist, and you say yes. You can see in the list that all 10,000 Maniacs have been changed to rock. I think I'll actually change that back. And you can do the same thing with the artist name, except you can't copy it to artist name because that wouldn't make any sense. You could set the change the artist name and copy that to all songs in this album, all songs in this folder, all songs that are checked. Album, you can copy that to all songs in this folder are checked. The volume label is about like if this were offline and we would type in the name of the disc that it's on and copy that. The rating, we'll get into ratings more later, but yeah, you can set the rating for a particular song and copy that to other songs if you want. So very useful tools for refining your library and not having to edit the details of every little song.